Ever looked at a map and found yourself asking, how did that even happen? You know, some borders make perfect sense, right? You've got straight lines, natural boundaries like rivers and mountains, things that just seem logical. But then there are others that make you scratch your head and wonder if someone just drew them for fun. Seriously, some borders are so bizarre, they look like they were put there on a whim. From a bridge that literally disappears into the ocean to an island so isolated, it feels like it's trapped in another time. Today, we're diving into the most perplexing and unexpected borders that you just can't believe exist, even though they do. And trust me, number 4 will blow your mind. It's one of the strangest you'll ever hear about. Borders define countries, shape cultures, and tell the stories of history. But not all of them make sense, not by a long shot. Some are leftovers from old treaties, relics of the past that don't reflect the world we live in today. Others were drawn with absolutely zero logic or consideration for geography. And then there are a few that look so strange, it's like they were created as a prank. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a wild tour around the globe to explore some of the most ridiculous, head-scratching, and mind-boggling borders that somehow still exist today. Get ready, this is going to be fun. Imagine driving on a bridge, cruising along, when suddenly, it just disappears into the ocean. That's exactly what happens on the Øresund Bridge, one of the most mind-blowing structures in the world. Stretching 10 miles long, it connects Denmark and Sweden, but halfway through, it does something completely unexpected. The bridge doesn't just continue to the other side. It sinks into the water and then turns into a tunnel. That's right. You're driving across a bridge one moment and then submerged in an underwater tunnel the next. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? So, why did they design it this way? Well, it turns out that Copenhagen's airport is very close by, and a tall bridge would have been a major issue for flight paths. Engineers could have scrapped the idea altogether, but instead, they got incredibly creative. They built a man-made island called Peberholm, where the bridge seemingly vanishes. Then, the bridge transforms into a tunnel beneath the water, allowing the road to reach Denmark safely, without disrupting air traffic. It's one of the most ingenious engineering solutions you'll ever see. But here's something even more fascinating. Peberholm, the island where the bridge disappears, is completely off-limits to the public. It's a restricted area, only accessible to scientists studying how ecosystems develop in untouched environments. So, not only is the Øresund Bridge one of the most unique borders in the world, but it's also created an accidental wildlife sanctuary, giving nature a chance to thrive in peace. How cool is that? Now, let's head over to one of the most mind-blowing places on Earth, the Bering Strait. Picture this: 2 tiny islands, just 2.4 miles apart, separated by nothing but icy water. Welcome to the Diomede Islands. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch. One of these islands belongs to the United States, and the other? Well, that belongs to Russia. But wait, it gets even more fascinating. Right between these 2 islands lies the international date line. That means when it's Monday on one island, it's already Tuesday on the other. Can you imagine that? You're standing on one island, and even though you're just a short swim away from the other, you're living in 2 different days. One island's living in the past, and the other's already a day ahead. And if you think that's crazy, here's another mind-boggling fact. During the Cold War, these islands were nicknamed the Ice Curtain because, get this, travel between them was completely forbidden. No crossing, no visits, nothing. These 2 islands, separated by a mere 2.4 miles of cold water, were completely locked off from one another, with a 21-hour time difference between them. And yet, they were closer than ever. Physically speaking, of course, just a short swim away. Now, here's a geographical mystery that even hardcore geography fans can't wrap their heads around. Russia has a secret piece of land that's not even connected to Russia. Meet Kaliningrad, a Russian exclave completely surrounded by European Union countries. Picture this. It's nestled right in between Poland and Lithuania, yet it's officially part of Russia. But how did this strange situation happen? Well, here's the backstory. After World War II, The Soviets took control of this area from Germany, but when the USSR collapsed, Kaliningrad got left behind, stranded outside of Russia's main borders. So, it became a Russian territory surrounded by EU nations, a real puzzle on the map. Today, Kaliningrad serves as a major strategic military base for Russia, and it's one of the most heavily armed regions in the country. But that's not all. Living there means residents have to cross not one, but two European Union countries just to get to the rest of Russia. They're literally separated from the rest of their own nation by foreign land, which makes you wonder just how they manage to go about their daily lives. Kaliningrad is a prime example of how history and politics can create some of the most bizarre borders in the world. Now, imagine if your hometown switched countries every 6 months. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what happens in the tiny village of El Rincon, nestled high in the Pyrenees Mountains. This isn't just any ordinary village. El Rincon actually changes nationalities twice a year. For half the year, it belongs to Spain, and for the other half, it's part of France. You're probably thinking, how on earth does that work? Well, let me explain. So, why does this happen? The unusual arrangement dates all the way back to 1659, when Spain and France settled a border dispute with the Treaty of the Pyrenees. Rather than choosing one country over the other, they came up with a rather unique solution. They decided to share the village. And so, every 6 months, the local government changes hands. For half the year, it's under Spanish rule. For the other half, it falls under French control. It's like a permanent game of tug-of-war, but in the friendliest way possible. And here's where it gets even crazier. If you're born in El Rincon, depending on what part of the year it is, you could technically end up with dual nationality. You could be a citizen of both Spain and France, all because of the timing of your birth. Imagine the paperwork. It's a one-of-a-kind border situation that shows just how flexible and quirky international agreements can be. So, there you have it. Some of the most bizarre, mind-boggling, and downright confusing borders on Earth. Whether it's a bridge that disappears into the ocean, an island caught in a time warp, or a piece of land that doesn't even belong where it is, geography never fails to surprise us. It's full of these strange, quirky situations that make you wonder how they even came to be. Next time you glance at a map, just remember this. Some borders totally make sense, but others? Well, they're just flat out weird. Which one of these borders blew your mind the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. And if you're craving more wild geography facts like this, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe for even more map mysteries. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.